Well, hello again, Simone. We are 2 weeks away now from our Essence of Facilitation course, and we've had a couple of conversations now around different distinctions that we work with in this Essence of Facilitation course, distinguishing different characteristics of effective groups and how we can observe their presence or absence in groups and what we can do as a facilitator to generate them. So, Simon, what distinction shall we talk about today?
Yeah, I would really like to talk about a distinction of emotional competence. Like emotional competence is the ability to create and exercise empowering choices around our emotional expression and distress. So it's basically a way of how to manage emotions within groups and relationships and others, which is a really important distinction as a facilitator.
Excellent. And can you share an experience of yours in working with this?
Yes, so I recently facilitated a 3.5 day art of facilitation training program. And I noticed that the facilitators found it quite difficult to manage emotions that came up in themselves and also in the group. And the behavior that I noticed was that facilitators ignored the emotion and distracted to somewhere else in the group, or they went in and tried to rescue, or there was actually, when I spoke with them afterwards, there was a fear that they rescue, and that's why they just ignored it. That was sort of stood out for me. It's like, wow, there's just quite a reaction to the emotion, and not really. I noticed that emotional competence was missing.
Excellent. And so, what do you know about emotional competence in groups?
Well, I know that lots of things come up in groups. We all get triggered, and things from our family and other groups' constellations. So, the more aware we are about our own emotions, how to manage our own emotions, and how to help others to manage their emotions, and the more acceptant we are about emotions and not making them wrong or bad, the more we are able to authentically relate with each other and authentically work in groups together.
Yeah, great. So, in an experience where you're noticing that emotional competence is missing, how might you as a facilitator generate that?
Yeah, so what I did work with in the art of facilitation was that I actually paused the facilitator and gave them some coaching around stopping for a moment, and instead of ignoring it or rescuing it, just to be with the person and be with oneself and one's discomfort around the emotion. And the reason for that is to actually practice what it feels like. We don't have ever much the chance in real life to practice it unless, with our loved ones. But even then, I experience in family that this is like so quickly ignored because there is so many judgments on human emotions. So I think, generating emotional intelligence needs practice, particularly as a facilitator. And the skill that we teach is being with, which is a really powerful skill, which really is just working with presence without having to name it or speak about it or analyze it or fix it, but just being with it. And that alone helps often for someone just to be heard and just to have a space to feel what needs to be felt and then to move on. And the
Excellent.
other thing I did also was to talk about, for example, the Karpman triangle as a helpful tool to understand that sometimes we can get also into rescuing when emotions arrive, and how not to do that, and how to actually work as a coach and see the other person not as a victim, but see them as a whole person, perfect as they are, and just accept emotions are a way of life and a way of our whole personhood.
So, again, we have an Essence of Facilitation course coming up in a couple of weeks on the 1st to the 5th of May. If this has piqued your interest in the course and what we're doing, then we'd love to speak with you about this. Feel free to get in touch. Thank you.
See you.